Hello Alycats and new viewers. So today I'm doing a highly requested video, which is my 3DS/DS collection, which I don't have a lot of games for the system. I have a 3DS XL, so I play DS and 3DS games on it. I don't have a lot of games for it, but I am looking to expand my library, so if you have recommendations, leave them in the comment box down below. And I'm just going to start off by saying there are no Mario games in this collection, so don't even bother wondering. And I did have Animal Crossing New Leaf, which I loved it for the first few months I had it, but after a while it got really boring, and then if I left my town for like a week and came back, it just broke my heart to see my neighbors had left. So I actually traded that game in. And I let a friend borrow The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, and it disappeared. Went missing. So I don't have it anymore. But let's just move on to the 3DS games I do have now. And first up is Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. This is an awesome rhythm game, and it's got the music from the Final Fantasy franchise, not all of it. If you want to buy more songs than what's on the game, you have to do DLC, which I'm not bothering with that. But this is such an excellent rhythm game, one of the best I've ever played, and the music is superb. They use the clips from the games for each song, and it's just wonderful. It can be very difficult at times, but it's so good, and you can just replay this game over and over, and you get collectibles like collectible cards, or you can unlock, cinematics from the game. And they are coming out with a sequel to this, Theater Rhythm Curtain Call, sometime this year, so I'll definitely be picking that up. Next up, I've only played a little bit of this, but I like it so far, and it's Tales of the Abyss. I'm a huge Tales of fan, and yes, the protagonist in this game, Luke, is a little whiny, but I've heard he gets better after about 15 hours. I've only played a couple of hours, but I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. And now we have Shin Megami Tensei 4. This is such a hard game, but I love it. It's really tactical, and it's kind of like an adult version of Pokemon, kind of, because you go into dungeons and you capture demons, and you have to, fuse them and, have them learn new tricks, and it can be very difficult. I do have the strategy guide for it, and it's still pretty hard, but I love it. I just love the design of the game. I love the mechanics. So yeah, if you're looking for a hardcore, tactical RPG game, definitely pick up Shin Megami Tensei 4 because it's so worth it. And I haven't even touched this next game, and I'm kind of ashamed of myself for not playing it yet, but I just haven't had time to. But it's Rune Factory 4, and sadly the company that makes this series went bankrupt. So I don't know if there will ever be another Rune Factory game. I could be wrong, but I've heard this is pretty good. I just haven't played it yet. But yeah, I'm excited to play it when I do play it. And next up we have Project Cross Zone, which of course I haven't played yet either because I have a huge backlog. But I love how there's characters from the 3 different companies, Capcom, Namco Bandai, and Sega. It's Sega, right? Yeah, Sega. And I love so many of these characters, and I've heard it does get a little boring after a while, but I'll be the judge of that. I'm looking forward to playing it, and that's all I can say because I haven't played it yet. And next up, I'm ashamed to admit I've only played a couple of hours of this. Of course I backlogged it. I need to go back to playing it because all my friends love it, but it's Pokemon Y. And I used to be a huge fan of the Pokemon series, but I kind of grew out of it. So I got this when I first picked up my 3DS, and I loved it when I first played it, but then I got another game that I'll show in a bit that totally just made me forget about this game for a while. But it's really good so far. I like the improvements. I like how it's 3D. I like how you can see your trainer now from the back instead of from an isometric view. I like how there's 3D battle animations for the Pokemon. It's just awesome. And next up we have a quirky little rhythm game. It doesn't have much replay value, but it's really cute. It's kind of hard to find out in the wild, but it's Gabrielle's Ghostly Groove 3D. It is so cute, and it's kind of Halloween themed. You play as Gabrielle, she sneezes herself into a coma and becomes a ghost, and you meet all these different supernatural characters like a werewolf, a vampire, Frankenstein, and you just have to do rhythm games. You have to do the ghostly groove to get screams to become a human again, and it's really cute. So if you can find it, get your hands on it because it's so unique and so weird that it's just something to have in your collection. And next up, this is the game that derailed me from Pokemon, but this was sent to me by one of my dear friends, Chris, is Fire Emblem Awakening. Probably my favorite 3DS game so far. It is a strategy game, but Awakening has an added mode now for casual players that may have never played a Fire Emblem game, because this game is notorious for its permadeath. So you can actually turn permadeath off now, which I did with this game, and you can play on casual, so if one of your characters dies in battle, they'll be back after the next cutscene or whatever. But you can also play with the permadeath on, so your characters will die if you're not careful and you don't plan out your strategy perfectly. But it's got such a great story. It's a beautiful game. I highly recommend finding this game and playing it. I've heard it's getting kind of hard to find. I might be wrong, but it's definitely worth playing. And my last 3DS game that I am playing right now and loving is Bravely Default. This was sent to me by my friend Derek H, and he has his own YouTube channel, but he was so kind to send me the collector's edition, and I love it. It's gorgeous. This game is awesome. It's basically a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy, the Four Heroes of Light, and I'm not very far into it. I'm about 3 hours in. It's a 50-hour game, but it's gorgeous, and I love how most of the cutscenes are voice acted. You get to rebuild Norinde, the town that you grew up in, I believe, and it's just so wonderful. The story is great so far. I've heard, is it the middle or the end that's kind of eh? It's one of those, but I've heard the beginning is very strong, and then one of the others is kind of weak, and then it gets strong again. But I'm super excited to play the rest of this. It's a gorgeous game. If you like RPGs at all, you need to pick this up, because this is perfect for any RPG fan. And the demo did not do this game justice. I hated the demo for this game, but I love this game so far. So yeah, that's my last 3DS game. So if you have any recommendations for 3DS games for me to pick up, leave them in the comment box down below, and I'll try to pick them up as soon as I can get some more money. And now moving on to my DS collection, which is about the same amount as my 3DS collection. First off, Black Box. It's actually Radiant Historia. It's super hard to find out in the wild. I didn't want to pay Amazon or eBay prices, but I haven't even played this game yet, but I've heard it's one of the best DS games out there, and I'm so excited to play it. I don't have time right now. But I've heard it's wonderful and marvelous, and I'm so excited to even have it in my collection. I need to print off cover art, but I'm really lazy and I don't. So, there you go. And next up we have Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. This is the third game in the Phoenix Wright series. I'm obsessed with the Phoenix Wright games. They're one of my favorite franchises on the DS, and I can't wait to play the 3DS version. And I just love it. It's basically like a visual novel type of game, but you also have to solve crimes. You're a defense attorney, so you have to get your client proclaimed not guilty. It's just wonderful. All the cases are nutty. The characters have awesome names. The dialogue is awesome. And just to save time, I also have the second game, which is Justice for All, and the first game, which is just Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And I really can't pick a favorite out of these three. I mean, all the cases are just great, but probably my favorite would probably be the first one, just because it kickstarted the whole franchise and it just introduced us to all these amazing characters. So yeah, I have all three, and I'm super excited that I own them. It's just a pleasure to have all of them because they're so much fun to play. And next up, I have Hotel Dusk Room 215, which did I print cover art for it? No, but at least it has the name on the front. And this is a very unique game. It's another visual novel type of game, but you hold your 3DS or DS like a book, and you're basically investigating this hotel after a crime has happened, and it is very wordy. It took me forever to get into the game, but once I did, I got pretty involved in it. You investigate, you have to interrogate guests at the hotel. It's wonderful. If you can find it, pick it up. It's super cheap too, so there's no excuse not to pick it up. And next up we have Elite Beat Agents. Again, no cover art. But it's such a wonderful, zany rhythm game. Like, each song you pick tells a story. Like, there's one where this girl is trying to get her boyfriend, well, this guy to become her boyfriend, but she's babysitting these kids. So she's trying to tell him, hey, I want you to be my boyfriend, but the kids keep interrupting her and he's getting annoyed. So it's kind of weird. All the stories are weird. It's got like a comic book style art, but it's such a unique rhythm game. It's got covers from some pretty popular songs. So yeah, pick it up. It's super cheap right now. It's super fun. It's not very long. So you'll have a lot of fun with this game, trust me. Next up, another gift from Derek H. This is Chrono Trigger. I never played this before, and I've played about 2 or 3 hours. Again, I backlogged it, but I love it so far. I love it. And I love how you can travel back and forth in time. It's a beautiful game. I haven't played Chrono Cross, but you know, I probably will want to play it after I finish this because this is amazing. I love it so much, so thank you, Derek, for that. And the last 2 games are more Ace Attorney games, but they're not Phoenix Wright games. The first one is Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. You play as Miles Edgeworth, who is a prosecutor, and you don't even step foot in a courtroom. Well, you do, but not to, you know, do a case. Basically, you're investigating crime scenes as Miles, and you interrogate witnesses and all this stuff, but it's different from the Phoenix Wright games. It's more of a sprite-based art style besides when you do the counter arguments, but it's still really fun. It's super fun to examine the crime scenes and have to piece together all these different pieces of logic, so it's pretty fun. And the last game is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, or Ace Attorney Apollo Justice, however you want to say it. And you play as Apollo Justice, and he is Phoenix Wright's protege. And the cases are very unique, just like the Phoenix Wright games, and the graphics have been improved for this game. The graphics are crisper, they're cleaner, there's more animation, and there's still the awesome dialogue, the awesome character names, and there's even some new like crime scene investigation techniques thrown in, which makes the game super fun. So yeah, that's the last game I have in my collection. So that's my 3DS and DS collection. I know it's super small, but I am trying to expand it, and once it's expanded, I will do an update on this video. So let me know what games I should look out for both the DS and 3DS. And if you like the video, please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because I do tons of geeky videos. Trust me, I'm a total geek. Total geeks always say they're total geeks. And favorites so your friends and family and total strangers can see. And feel free to share me as long as you do it nicely. And I love each and every one of you so much. Thank you so much for your support and kindness. It means the world to me. Peace and kisses. Bye.